Hi, I'm Willie. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And what we're going to talk about is a rabbit hole that I've gone down when it comes to network time. Now, we all know that time is very important. Yes, people are going to come on. It's a construct, blah, blah, blah. But it is probably one of the most important constructs that we have as a society. Time controls absolutely everything. Now, when it comes to the network, if you've ever had Windows server or an Active Directory server, you would know by default you only get a 5-minute time variance on each side of the server before authentication fails, right? So if your server has 5 o'clock and the clients have a 5-minute time drift on each side, authentication doesn't work. The other thing is when we're doing log servers, it's very important that any entries in your log, especially your security logs, has the correct time and date. Payments, another very important thing that we need to make sure that time and date is correct for. Having the correct time and date, I mean, we could just have this conversation about why it's important. I don't know one reason why not having the time and date be correct is not important. So anyway, if you've worked with us, you know that I like to use the time server ntp.uiuc.edu, which is the network time protocol server for the University of Illinois at Champaign-Urbana, which has the national supercomputing lab here in the US. I always figured if their time was off, then we've got problems, right? So we're doing a decent sized phone system, 4 sites for a customer in Alaska. And they send us all of the information through. And I don't know why I didn't think about this before. I don't think I really had the need. Uh, and I guess I didn't even really think about a self-hosted GPS-based NTP server, network time protocol server that you host. It's easy enough to set up an NTP server. Your Grandstream UCM can be an NTP server, right? So it goes out, it grabs the correct time from somewhere, and then phones and other devices can ping it. You can make your Windows servers NTP servers. You can do it with Linux servers. You can do this, right? All software based and relying on someone else in the chain to make sure that that time is correct. Well, if you don't have reliable internet, if you don't have reliable connectivity, there's another way. And when the client showed us this, I just can't even. In all the years that I've been doing this, I was just my mind has been blown. So let me show you what this client uses, and each of their sites has one of these made by Time Machine Corp. And it is a GPS NTP network time server. They're only $349.99. Now, I have reached out to this company to see if I can get my hands on a sample of one of these. But essentially, what happens is you have a GPS antenna. You stick it out there so it's got a clear view of the sky. So you could tape it inside of a window. You could mount it outside. You plug it into this. This gets the time and then becomes a time server. So you can then point all of your devices to this on site. I don't know. I never had the need to go look for something like this before, and I've just gone down this rabbit hole. And there are other companies who make these devices, and I didn't realize how popular they really were until the last few days. And so I'm hoping that I get my hands on one of these. We'll see what they say. I sent the email on a Saturday. I don't know if they're open or whatever, but I thought that this was brilliant. And I actually think we are going to start integrating this into our new network builds where it's appropriate, where it's applicable if the customer wants it. I know I'm going to try to get one here, and I've got some other networks that I know that this will be perfect for. If you've ever come into your network and all of a sudden users can't log into their workstations, or they can't hit network resources because it's telling them usernames and passwords wrong, and it turns out you had time drift either on the clients or the server, either way, to make that mismatch happen, then you know how important time is. If you've ever been looking through log files and you don't have your network gear having the correct time and date, you know how stupid and absurd it is looking at all of those log entries that say January 1st, 1999, right? Or January 1st, 2000, right? There's no need for it to be like that. You know, making sure that we have the correct time is very important. So I'm going to check more into the hardware based time. Let me know down in the comments what you use. Let me know if you knew these even existed. Let me know what your setup looks like. We've got a spot for this over on the community.williehow.com site. Like I said, I'm trying to get one of these. We'll see what they come back with. And I would love to be able to actually show you how this works in the network. And if they don't get back to me, maybe the client will be nice enough to let me do a screen recording session while we poke around inside of their hardware based NTP server. My mind is blown, and I just think this is so cool. So if any of you have these out there, let me know down in the comments. Let me know, like I said, too, how you're doing your time. Typically, we hitch our wagon to, like I said, ntp.uiuc.edu, and we let that propagate. I've even had some smaller networks where we don't let the time sync between the domain controller and the Windows workstations. We force everything over to that ntp.uiuc.edu. Sometimes it's been an emergency, sometimes it's been a choice. But like I said, if you've worked with this and you look at your phone system or you look at your servers, a lot of times we're going to point it to that ntp.uiuc.edu. But this, for me, is going to be an absolute game changer. So I'm interested. I am really interested to hear how many of you knew these existed, how many of you didn't know that they existed, how many of you are using them, your use cases for them besides the horrible connectivity and making sure that you control the time at your sites. So I could just sit here and babble about how cool I think this is all the time, but we're not going to do that. So let me know down in the comments if you have these, how you're using your time sync. I will leave a link to NTP in case you don't know what the network time protocol is. I'll leave that down in the description. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, share, follow me on Twitter and TikTok. Those links are down below, along with affiliate links, a Patreon link. And if you need IT consulting, you need to make sure your time is set up correctly. Or if you need voice, security, Wi-Fi, storage, all the things, head on over to williehow.com, fill out the contact form that's there on the front page, and someone will be in touch with you as soon as possible. You can join this conversation over at community.williehow.com. Go over there and sign up and join the conversation today. Well, once again, I'm Willie. I want to thank you for being here and going down this rabbit hole of GPS hardware-based NTP servers with me. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.